Hey everyone, it's Wingspan TT, and this is it. This is the finals of our round 1 match, me versus WMG Pants. You saw me take the mulligan. I've taken so many mulligans, but I really need to go into these games strong. And while this isn't the best starting hand, I want to go in because I could dig through my deck. I had some chump blockers if I needed. I got the fog bank. I got disperse, so I could have shenanigans. Shenanigans. One more time you say shenanigans, and Super Troopers was one of these movies where going into it I thought it was gonna be really terrible, but it was actually amazing. Like especially the first half of the movie. The second half maybe was a little weak, but if you ever get a chance, guys, Super Troopers, great comedy. Another comedy I recommend, like an action comedy that I thought was gonna be terrible going into it, is The Rundown with The Rock. And that movie, again, I went into it, all my friends were like, oh, you have to see this movie, you have to see this. I'm like, I don't know, it looks stupid. It's The Rock. He's in like the Amazon rainforest with that stupid guy from American Pie, Stifler. How good could this be? It was absolutely hilarious. I highly recommend that movie. And maybe, it's been a couple years since I've seen it. Maybe it's not that good, but whatever. The one thing I did decide to do here was to play out these title Kraken hatchlings. And at first I'm like, I want to bluff like I have mana leak, but because I'm going ahead of him, I know there's nothing he can play on turn 2 that I'd be willing to mana leak. So I'm like, whatever. Is there anything he could even play on turn 3 I'd be willing to mana leak? Nah, I'm just gonna swing with my 0-4, just for the hell of it, just for old time's sake. I got Archaeomancer, I got Writer Replications. I'm feeling good. I'm like, if he drops an Obliterator, I can replicate it. If I get Replicate, I can cast Replicate and then cast Archaeomancer and get it back. Like, I have a lot of cool options. He's playing the waiting game. He's at 3 mana. It's possible. I was considering playing the Fog Bank, but I also thought if I played Fog Bank, he'd probably infest and then take out 3 of my cards. So what I'm gonna do here is a little. Some people look down on this, but I want to get this card back. Okay. So the next turn I could dig deeper into my deck. I'm like, I just need to get one of the couple cards that if I get Bribery, I win. If I get Panoptic Mirror, I win. If I get Future Sight, I don't automatically win, but I'll be in a very good position where I'm more likely to win. Okay? So here, before I play the, there's no reason I shouldn't have played that land first. I was just going back and forth on it. And I'm here, I'm like, oh, I got Repulse, I got Fog Bank. I don't need another Fog Bank. I got plenty of blockers. Repulse is a great card, great to put on Panoptic Mirror, but also great to make him waste removal. And what I was kind of hoping here is, like, if he tries to kill my guy, I can Repulse it. And I'm like, alright, I guess I'm getting the 1 damage through. And that's it. His turn. And I'm really surprised he chooses to murder here. And I guess it's because he was waiting to see if there's anything else I would play that'd be worth murdering. But, like, I guess if I played Talrand, then he would have murdered. But I actually took Talrand out of my deck at this point because I'm like, it's just going to get murdered. So what's the point? What's the point? There's no point. Talrand, I love you, bro. I'm not sending you to your death that easily. Archaeomancer, I don't mind. So why did I do that? I want him to waste removal. Because now what? Is he going to use removal on this again? He gets the Shade. I'm a little scared now. But I'm like, alright, I can block the Shade at least 2 turns. I got my guys. I can play Archaeomancer and chump block. I can get back Repulse and repulse this guy. Here's my Talrand's Invocation. I have so many options now, and really the only thing that's limiting me is, like, land. So I'm like, if I play Fog Bank, I can block his guy forever. Also acceptable. Or I can just cast Time Warp and take an extra turn. The cool thing about casting Time Warp, which I was like kind of like back and forth on, is since I have Archaeomancer in return, I can always get Time Warp back. So if I draw Panoptic Mirror, I can get Time Warp back. It doesn't have to be totally gone forever. Here we go. And really the other thing was, because I was ahead in land, I just wanted to get more options on the table. I wanted to just be like, oh, what should I do here? What are my options? Play Archaeomancer. So now I have 3 potential chump blockers. And here we go. Get back Time Warp, so I can use it again if I need to. And now I'm like, if he attacks, I can block with Archaeomancer, okay, and then use Disperse on it, so I don't take the damage. Archaeomancer goes back to my hand, and I can get Disperse back if I want. I can cast Time Warp, and then cast Time Warp again. I can just Time Warp all day. I take 10 turns in a row, because nothing says turn-based strategy fun like never getting to take a turn again. Okay, that's what Panoptic Mirror is all about. That's what these shenanigans, Followed Footsteps. I was considering putting Followed Footsteps in the deck, but I thought, he would just murder his creature. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have taken out one of these Title Krakens and put in Followed Footsteps, because, he would be forced to use it on his own guy. Now here, he's going to pump his own Shade so it does not die to infest. A very smart play. And this might have been a misplay here. I was like, alright, tempo-wise, I could use Disperse on my Archaeomancer, save it, and then, you know, use it later. But I decided to Disperse his Shade. That way, next turn, yes, he'll get an extra swamp. He can search out an extra swamp. But now, you know, I still have 2 blockers on the table where he's going to play the Shade again. And then it's going to be at least 2 turns before I'm taking damage from the Shade, which is what my goal was, to just buy more time. Buy more time. This is excellent. I get to draw my, I got my little Tidal Kraken Hatchling there, which I love very dearly. And again, it's just another card where, you know, it's something they need to keep in mind. Like, when you have the Hatchling on the board, they cannot tap out, because if you sacrifice the Hatchling, they have to pay 1 mana or the card gets countered. So they can't tap out because you can just sack the Hatchling. It's a little more transparent than having counter in your hand. All right, in this case, it's a bird, like it's a little flying creature. It's a bird. It's in the bush. It's out there in the bush. You can just see there's your bird in the bush. It's not in my hand. All right, it's a bird in the hand. It would be worth 2 in the bush, but this bird can attack and deal damage. So there you go. They never thought about that when they were writing their stupid parables, did they? A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. But if the bird in the bush could fly out of the bush and peck the people you don't like in the eyes every now and then, maybe it would be worth a bird in the hand. Maybe it would be worth more than a bird in the hand. That's my advice for the day. So here, he's got some tough decisions to make. And this is kind of what I wanted to do. Like, I have a whole lot of creatures on the board. Not any of them are worth a lot. Like, the only one that's worth even a single card, probably of removal, is the little 1/1 Hatchling. It's kind of like, what, is he going to use removal on it? I'm just going to try to counter the removal anyway. So it's tough. You know, he used his Infest. Is he going to use Mutilate now? He's probably also been saving Mutilate, because he wants, in case I cast Replication, if he needs to use Mutilate to kill his own Phyrexian Obliterator. Because one thing that's cool about Mutilate is because it gives everyone -X, it doesn't count as damage. You can kill the Obliterator safely without having to sacrifice permanents. And I'm pretty sure the card's name is Mutilate, but if I'm wrong, just tell me I'm wrong. Here we go. He's got 3 cards untapped. I have 6 lands untapped. I'm in a pretty good position. I'm kind of like just planning to attack and then cast Time Warp and attack again and just wear him down a little, just like, you know, put him in a position where, you know, he's on the defensive. So I just want to see what he does here. He's going to murder. And he chooses to murder this guy, which I think is a mistake, because now I can sacrifice this thing, okay, Spitetail Hatchling, and counter it. And I keep my guy who's bigger, the 2/2. Maybe he just wants to counter off the board, but it gives me choice, because when he did that, I got to choose which of my creatures lived and which ones died, because I could just let it go and just keep it on the board, or whatever. But if he casts Murder on my Hatchling, I wouldn't have a choice. I would have to lose the Hatchling. Now, of course, I can tap out now because I just got an extra turn. He's tapped out, and he's got to be like, oh shit. I would just think he has to be scared because he's tapped out and I took an extra turn. And I go here. I don't draw anything cool, just an island, but an island's welcome because I'm so close to getting up there with the Rite of Replication. I have 3 of my 0/4 Kraken Hatchlings on the board, but guys, I'm sweating bullets at this point. I'm sweating. I'm staring at the little 4-inch screen. I'm just like, oh my god, this is the final match. This is game 5. Holy shit! And this guy's obviously a really good player, obviously a very patient player. He's not gonna fall for simple bullshit here. He recasts his guy, but now I could block it for 3 turns, and I have the Fog Bank. So my goal is to make him burn through all my creatures, then drop the Fog Bank, and bam, Panoptic Mirror. And there's a couple cards there that if I drew, I would have been happy with. Another Rite of Replication would have also been happy, because I could stall. But Panoptic Mirror is great, because now there we go. And I was a little worried for a second, because I realized I tapped out, okay? No, wait, I didn't tap out. Never mind. I'm thinking of another turn, which I'm not sure if it's in this match or another match. But there was a match where I kind of tapped out all my creatures and then realized, like, shit, what if he casts Infest? I won't have anything to block with. Here I have plenty of things to block with. I don't have any great targets to use Rite of Replication on, but that's not the point. The point is just that I'm going to have so much card advantage from having Rite of Replication every single turn that he's going to need to find an answer really fast. And that answer is, I have absolutely no clue what. Well, I do know. In retrospect, I know. And actually, what he does to try to win this game is ingenious. And I don't think most players would be smart enough to do what WMG JT does in this match. I'm like, which creature should I copy? I'm going to copy my 2/2 Drake. There's no point to me copying his Shade because I can't pump the Shade. I don't have Swamps. I don't have Swamps in my deck, so I can't use the Shade's ability to go search for Swamps. No point, so I'm just going to get my 2/2 guy, get some more attacking power on the board, force him to do something. I was considering, should I play Fog Bank and then Right to Replicate it and get lots of stuff? I'm like, And here I'm going to pause the timer. I have nothing to do here. I have absolutely nothing to do. I just want him to think. I have counter magic. I want him to think really hard about it because he's about to draw 2 cards. I want him to doubt himself when he plays those 2 cards. I want him to possibly play a weak card that he doesn't want to play first to draw out my counter, which I don't have. You know, and possibly waste his mana or his turn playing cards that aren't a threat to me. Now this is a sight for sore eyes. He plays the Spectre because he's trying to draw out the counter. He's like, alright, Wings got to discard a card now, but this is why I've been holding on to his islands the whole time, so I don't have to discard cards I actually don't care for. But he's played the Spectre, and maybe he was hoping that whatever card was in my hand was just going to be like, I had 2 amazing cards, I need to get rid of them. I had 1 garbage card in this, and now I'm going to get to Right of Replicate his Spectre and empty his hand. So whatever treasures are in his hand are about to go bye-bye, and I hope he knows that. I honestly don't know if he knew that going into it. And I don't see why he cast the Jet second. Why wouldn't you cast the Jet first and then cast your Spectre afterwards? Because then he wouldn't be tapped out. And again, he taps out against me. And I mean, I understand he kind of wants to kill these Krakens, but you would think he's got to have something in his hand that he wanted to play, because now I'm going to Right to Replicate. I'm going to cast this, and I don't know if that's a mistake on his part or if the cards in his hand were just bad enough that it didn't matter. Well, we're about to find out as we watch them all get défaussé. That's French for discarded there. Piocher, that's the verb to draw a card, but défaussé is to discard cards. So let's see, what does he get rid of? Alright, he's getting rid of a Swamp. And next card in our Powerball lottery is Murder. And the next card is nothing. He only had 2 cards in hand. So he had Murder in his hand, and he should have used the Murder to, I don't know. I feel like he should use Murder on something that he should have murdered his own guy, his own 2/1 guy, so I couldn't Right to Replicate it. I honestly don't know what the correct play would have been there, but I just feel like there was some kind of misplay on his part. And at this point, I'm feeling really good about my board position. The only thing he could possibly play that would totally screw me over is Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm, if I have enough counters, it's going to be like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 damage to me, and then he gets to swing in with Spectre. So at this point, I was really nervous about Massacre Worm. I'm like, fuck, he gets Massacre Worm. I'm screwed. He's going to corrupt me, and this is ingenious. And there's something I'm going to say here. I'll explain why it's ingenious for a second. I just want to say that I freaked out here. I paused for whatever reason, there's a bug in the game, and my display goes away, and the game looks like it was frozen. I was like, shit, the game is frozen. Oh my god, is he going to make me replay this game? Because it's only fair, I guess, right, for us to replay the game since there's no obvious winner. I'm like, oh my god. Please, hopefully the timer will at least go away, and then the game will resume as normal. So I'm like, please timer, go away, please timer. And no, and I'm freaking out. I'm like, shit. And I'm pressing my analog sticks. I can't move the cursor. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to lose this game because I can't control the game anymore. I can't do anything. I'm like, and now I'm just like pressing the triggers. I'm pressing the A button. I'm pressing every button on the controller like, oh my god, please. And finally I hit up, and this somehow, that fixed it. So guys, if that ever happens to you where you lose the heads-up display, hit the D-pad. Anyway, why was Corrupt on his part brilliant? And you're going to see why, because based on what I do here, I'm like, alright. He corrupted me because he knew that if he gets Massacre Worm, he's probably still going to lose the game, because I'll take 14 damage, but then I can copy his Massacre Worm 5 times, and then I'll win. So what I decide to do from now on is, okay, I decide I'm not actually going to, I guess I could have actually chosen to not copy anything at all. He cast Corrupt on me so that my life would be low enough so that if he top decks Massacre Worm, that he will win. That's what he did. There's no reason for him to corrupt me that turn, because obviously the longer you wait to cast Corrupt, the more life you gain. He cast Corrupt in case he top decked Massacre Worm, it is absolutely brilliant. Like, and I have to hand it to him. JT Pants, whatever your name is, whatever your real name is, bro. That was a brilliant move, and if I could play opponents like this who had this matter of thought into their gameplay every day, it would be a goddamn honor. Here I play the Fog Bank, because see, I tapped out and I was like, oh shit, if he murders my guy, he can just swing and kill me, because I only left the one creature untapped, the one Spectre untapped. I was like really nervous, so I was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. Here he swings, I don't know why, because I have the Fog Bank, but I guess at this point he probably just assumes the game is over, and he knows he can't block, so why not swing? Fine, he can't block the flyers. And I'm like, please don't be Massacre Worm. Oh my god, it's Mutilate. So every creature gets like minus insane amounts of stuff. And now I'm like, oh shit. But at least I can't take massive damage from Mutilate. But I'm so happy now because I'm like, he can't win the game. He can't. There's no creature he could play. There's no creature he can play that will benefit him, because as soon as he plays it, I'm going to get 5 copies of it. So I'm just going to sit here and just wait to see what he does. He doesn't have Corrupt anymore. He already used it. So the Mutilate he obviously needed to play. He plays the Spectre. I guess to empty my hand, but I just have islands. I just had islands the whole time. I'm like the fucking Caribbean king here, just sitting on islands. And I still have this one island to be happy in case I needed to, like, I don't know what I would need islands for. But it's insurance, and now I'm going to cast this on him, make him empty his hand. Again, I don't think he has anything in his hand. Maybe he has got 1 card in his hand. Let's see. Does he? No, he has nothing. So we just go through the cheer squad again. 2, 4, 6, 8. Wingspan's gonna make a comeback really late. And I hope you guys could feel what I felt. And there you go, Gravitational Shift. And I was like, this card just possibly won me the game. You would never think Gravitational Shift would win you the game, but you guys gotta remember, most decks can't deal with Gravitational Shift against goblins and against green, white, red. Okay, Gravitational Shift is gives you a huge amount of time to survive. And here again, I'm just like, I don't know what kind of trick he's going for. I don't know what kind of trick, but I'm definitely knocking it off. Like, and now he's gonna make me sacrifice a creature. And again, I don't know what life he's at. And I'm pretty sure he's at 12 life. And he's like, haha, I'm at 12 life. I'm gonna survive because he can only attack for 6 damage next turn. Okay, but what he doesn't realize, bro, is that I have Gravitational Shift. So here I was like, I'm actually only going to make 1 copy because Gravitational Shift is more important to get into play. And then when I swing, now, when I swing, that's it. It's pretty much over. But I'm going to play the Gravitational Shift, and I have Cancel to seal the deal. So even if he had some kind of card that would fuck me over now, I got Cancel. There's nothing he can do. That's it. I made a huge comeback. I thought I was so screwed after those first 2 games, but this is it. He has exactly 12 life. I was right. I did the math, and now he's jumping on my seats. I've got an achievement. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, oh my god, I won, sure. She's like, that's nice, hun. Can you like help me clean up a little bit? I'm like, sure, I will help. And you know what? I'm going to go grocery shopping tomorrow. Everyone on Wingspan TT from TopTreeTactics.com, I hope you enjoyed these matches as much as I did. I hope you'll go check out Weapons of Mass Gaming, because these guys are great. They know what they're doing. They're obviously good players. I hope you'll come back to see how I do in the rest of this tournament. And I hope you have epic games like I just did, because this series was honestly one of the most memorable and awesome 5 games of Magic that I've ever played in my life. And I play a lot of goddamn Magic. Everyone, I'm signing out. Wingspan TT. See you next time. Cheers.